Hey everybody, welcome back. Geordie Keith with Business Breakthrough Coaching and day, I want to say 15. 1, 2, 3, and no, day 18. Pardon me. Doing additional in my mind and trying to talk at the same time doesn't always work. Anyways, day 18 of 21 Facebook Live Challenge. We're back. Only a few more days left, which is awesome. And what a ride. What a cool ride. So today, up in my game. First off, thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, if you can see me and you can hear me, just click the like button down below. Let me know that you can hear and see me. And yeah, it's just awesome. So up in my game today was around Live Leap. I told you a couple days ago I Live Leap, just learning a little bit more. There's more work to do around that. A ton of work, but that's okay. A little bit at a time. Live Leap, a program that sends out your live feed out to a few other pages, so it shares it at my personal page as well as my business page. So yeah, a little bit at a time, but it's coming along. So that's what it's all about, right? And yeah, so yesterday we talked about a lot of, over the last 17 days, we talked about a lot of things: winning mindsets, how to be successful in your business or whatever it is you want to tackle. But my focus is around business success, and but really, whether it's personal success or business success, the one has an influence on the other. So they're both important, that they all rise with the tide. So yeah, so with that, I wanted to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Your scheduling, my scheduling, and success. And this particular one might be a little more uncomfortable than usual. And this is the reason why. And it has to do with scheduling. And here's the question I want to start this discussion off with. And chime in at any time, leave me a comment, whatever you think in regards to this. But have you ever made time to meet with somebody, a client or somebody that's going to help you, and you've had to delay or postpone that or reschedule that? And in today's day and age, we have so many things that are so busy, there's just so many things going on that come up all the time, and they get in their way, and we have to reschedule, or there's an emergency or this or that, and so we have to reschedule, or it doesn't work out, or we don't have enough time. And here's the key, or the brutal truth about that. Every time you reschedule a meeting or get together with somebody, it's costing you time and money and energy. And I often even with my clients, they know that if they miss a time with me, that they get charged. Whether they show up or not, you get charged. And it's for a couple of reasons. One is, obviously my time is valuable, but so is yours. So is your time. If you had to pay somebody $200 or $500 or $1,000 every time you didn't make a meeting, or every time you didn't make something, I guarantee you would be a lot more conscious about the bookings you booked into your schedule, number one, and number two is you would probably keep them in spite of life happening, in spite of everything else happening. You would probably keep them. And so the good or the bad and the ugly of all this is this, and that is, here's a couple things that you get to observe about yourself, about myself. When you have to rebook a schedule, take a look at that. Take a look at your behavior, because usually that means you're not quite aligned with your life. And here's what a lot of people tend to do is they think, well, my time's so valuable, so I got to book everything in, and I got to be to the last minute, and no. And actually, it's counterintuitive. Just the opposite. The more you value your time, the more you get aligned with who you are and what you love to do, you'll actually show up 5-10 minutes early and not be busy doing other stuff. Why? Because you'll very fast and learn that when you show up early and you're not trying to fill those 5 or 10 minutes with something else because, oh, my time's so valuable, that you'll actually start to create and focus on what it is you want to create with that next meeting. What are the results you want to have happen? What way of being do you need to be to have those results? And getting into that context. You watch a professional athlete go out and play a game. He doesn't just show up last minute. He doesn't take his cell phone onto the field. He doesn't, or she, right? They show up early. They get into a mindset. They get prepared. And I'm talking about a top athlete. They don't just show up last minute and, meander on or hope they show up on time. They show up early. They get prepared. They get in the right mindset. They get right, and they win. And so that's the bad part. The real ugly part is, and you get to determine this whether you observe your behavior or not, and it's uncomfortable because every time you want to rebook a meeting, rebook a time with somebody, or change your schedule, or even if you wait till the last minute to book your, oh well, let's just plan that tomorrow, let's just figure it out tomorrow. That's where you get to take a look at your behavior, because that's where you're leaving money and success on the table by not planning and being on purpose in your life. And so the ugly part of that is when you have to rebook a meeting, or when you miss a meeting or anything like that, the ugly part is you get to look at your behavior. You get to turn around and look at yourself, right? And what happened in my life, and more often than not, we'll have all kinds of great quote-unquote excuses. Life happens, and it can get pretty, oh well, there was this emergency and that emergency. If somebody was dying, there's a fire to put out, then yes. But aside from that, you get to observe that either somehow subconsciously you attracted that, or consciously you attracted whatever emergency needed to happen that you had to rebook, right? And maybe it was, oh man, the client before that was just going over and it was a really important client. Well, guess what? That's you not valuing your time. Because you valuing your time, you're going to get that client to where they need to be to move forward, to get the job done in the time that you allotted. Or the next time you're going to realize that you're going to need to give yourself more time to get that job done. And that's the key of being conscious, is you get that feedback. And here's the other key is, though, when you really get that value, it's going to be when you stop beating yourself up, when you stop making yourself wrong for missing those, but just taking in the feedback. I'm part of a men's team, and also in my volunteer work, we have a thing called cleanup. When you don't keep your word, or when I don't keep my word, or when I'm late, and trust me, I've screwed up on this lots. And there's some men that resist the cleanup. And why? It's one of two reasons. They don't want to face it, or they're beating themselves up, or both. Because when I clean up, it's an opportunity for me to get back in integrity with myself, and also learn the lesson about what it is I'm not quite aligned with me in my life, and how important that is. And that's what's key. That's so key, to get aligned with you in your life. And that's what cleanup is all about. It's not a punishment. Anybody that takes it on as a punishment probably beats themselves up already. And so if you do that, then either learn to stop it, or just stop that, because that doesn't serve you or anybody else. And so that's what's key there, is to be able to take that feedback and observe your own behavior, and then come back out with clarity and more aligned with who you are and your purpose, and then achieving success. So the good part of that is, the opportunity is when you notice that your schedule doesn't flow. In other words, when you book something, you don't show up on time, or you have to rebook it once, maybe twice, maybe 3 times. Then the good part is, the exciting part is, if you truly take that moment to observe yourself and observe your behavior all the way up to leading to those events, you can make adjustments in your life and then get more aligned with who you are and your purpose, and thus achieve more success. Your anxiety and stress will go down, and your results and success will go up. I guarantee it. But it takes discipline, and you got to keep doing it. You got to keep at it. You can't just do it once or twice. You got to keep at it. And here's a perfect story. I had 2 potential clients last month. We started the discussion of coming on board with me around coaching in their business. And one client said, yes, I'm in. Let's get started. And we got started right away. In fact, they got started right away. I gave them 2 bonus calls for free just because they got started right away. The other client, we had one conversation. It took about 15-20 minutes. He said, yeah, you know what? I need some more information. I got all the rest of it. Okay, great. We set up another call right then. We took another hour and discussed all the things that I'm going to do and the way we're going to go about doing it, and helped him get on board for what we're doing. And he still had a challenge seeing it, but I could totally see where we could exponentially grow his success. And he still had some questions, so we had to go, because during that time he had to go, and there was other things going on. So that was number one. He was trying to do 2 things at once and wasn't totally focused on our conversation, so he wasn't able to get to where he needed to go to make a decision right there. Number one. And number 2, then we rebooked it. We booked another appointment. So we booked a 3rd appointment for us to discuss us moving forward. And guess what happened at that appointment? That appointment got missed. Something came up, work, whatever. There was emergency at work. Who knows what happened? Life gets in the way. It always does. It always will. And so don't take that personally, or don't think it's not going to happen or ever going to stop. But that's the key. And guess what? That got missed, and now it's a month later, and we still haven't been able to connect again. And the first client, guess what? We've already exponentially grown his business, his leadership, and he's already set the foundation to exponentially grow his bottom line as well. So he's already reaping the rewards and also the benefits of just getting on board. Because why? Because he was ready for that. He was ready for that call. He was ready to be focused. And so one of 2 things, either you got to be ready or don't. But either way, you're going to make a decision and go for it, and pay 100% to that. Don't just hold on the backgrounds in your schedule. And that's a clear result. If you have to rebook, and so I just want to come full circle. If you have to rebook a schedule, even once, a scheduled meeting with somebody, and maybe it's just a fun meeting with somebody to meet for coffee, a close friend or whatever. If you're having to rebook that, you get to pay attention to that and how important that is. So I do that every day, and I'm getting, by no means have I mastered that, but every day I'm getting a little bit better at just paying attention to, all right, and getting better at showing up early and be fully prepared and enjoying the process and enjoying the journey, and thus my results and my success is going through the roof. And they are. My business is growing. I'm getting bigger and bigger results for my clients, and it's freaking fun. I love it. It's so much fun. So with that, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Tell me what part of this has been of value to you. What part may have been a challenge. Comment, thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. You leave me a reaction. Let me know what you think. With that, I'm Geordie Keith with Business Breakthrough Coaching. Let's go make your dreams a reality.